Okay, it's Lisa Stade here of the YouTube channels Lisa Stade and Hitler Obsessed. Now I'm going to continue with my part 2 video of my series of videos on Adolf Hitler, on Hitler the Rise of Evil, this is about part 1. I will do a series for part 2. And so we're continuing on with where we left off. So Hitler failed art school. I told a little bit about my experience as an art major there. Uh, so Hitler failed art school, and then he ends up loses his mother to cancer and is distraught. And there's a scene of Hitler's half sister Paula. Uh, Actually, Chloe Hitler and Paula, and even I guess Adolf Hitler in these scenes do not look like pretty much what any of the characters really look like. But Hitler was distraught about his mother's death, and Paul Hitler was asking him to, just, uh, giving a condolence to Hitler's grief there, which is a pretty good thing, I guess, to do for someone in grief. That is very good. Uh, a lot of people would disagree to do that to Hitler, but I can understand why from going through that lovely experience in my own case in life, losing my mom to cancer. So yeah, he ends up losing and calling her a deadbeat and a bunch of other nice, lovely words, that I cannot say about, the woman of, Paula Hitler, that would usually be called ableistic now, and a lot of other stuff, just to insult, his half-sister, Paula. No, not Paula. Paula's Hitler's younger sister. This was Angela, and Angelica or Angela? That's the half sister of Hitler. I apologize for actually mucking up the actual historical figures' names. Sorry about that. Oh, how I can muck that up on YouTube. Well, millions of people to see. Great. Yeah, so Hitler is distraught about his mother dying and insults Paula. And the next scene is of Hitler being, I guess, ending up on the streets and, saying and listening to some guy talk about the Jews whole problem. And one of these guys is it's one of the actual historical figures that was a mayor in Austria and Vienna at the time that Hitler looked up to, who had this society of anti-Semitics. Hitler probably was a part of that society. And this mayor was somehow a role model to Hitler on, how I guess anti-Semitism should have been not a good role model at all. Something that I probably wouldn't think anyone, including Hitler, should be looking up to at all. Not the best advice on life advice. But yeah, this guy probably definitely took advantage of plenty of people that were down on their luck like Hitler, and they just ate it all up. Because when you're down on your luck, you're gonna get very tempted to believe that stuff like that. Sucks for victims of that stuff. Uh, don't feel sympathy for the actual character for doing that to another human being. Uh, but yeah, there's another scene where Hitler's telling another homeless person about the Jews being their fault and taking everything, and the whole usual, I guess, anti-Semitic trope or whatever we call it there, or garbage, or trashy, just literature stuff Hitler was reading. That was from these pamphlets called Stala, and anything else I probably don't know what the other stuff was, but that was one of the things made by a guy called Hans von Liebesfeld. Little backstory on that kind of stuff. But in the movie, when Hitler is talking to this other vagrant, the guy who he's talking says, "Well, you look kind of Jewish," and that is a reference to Hitler most likely having Jewish ancestry, based off the eugenics theories and stuff. of those times, him being based off of his structure of his skull and his face would consider him Jewish. That kind of stuff is, thank God, not supported in the science community anymore. Thank God it's been left behind and found out to be the garbage and stuff that is just not good science. Just really terrible. It's pretty much what lobotomies are, I guess, to psychiatry. Not the best. not the best work, I guess you could say though. But Hitler is and the next scene it show of the movie, Hitler's at a train station waiting for his family members, which is his half sister Angela or Angelica, I guess I'm pronouncing the name at all correctly. Who brings her daughter, which is Hitler's niece, Gelly Rubel, or Angela Rubel, usually referred to as Gelly or Gelly Rubel, which is the future person Hitler would be having a relationship with that was intimate. A lot of people do debate if it was sexual or not, and I bet my video just now made its way to, no, maybe I might be playing this one on 18. No, waiting, I hope not. Please don't screw me over YouTube for that just reference. But Hitler in the scene is actually given the rest of the inheritance that he was really just browbeating family members for, because he was having to survive at homeless shelters he would have had to pay for at those times to stay in, panhandling, begging on the street, and also surviving on selling postcards and paintings, painted postcards of the Vienna city life, or those little portraits he did of, like, the Virgin Mary, the Madonna, or animals, or portraits, or whatever, that he was really, from a lot of people would say, he's making somewhat of amount. I don't think a whole lot. If he's sleeping on the streets, he's not making a whole lot. A lot of people have debate that he was trying to invade military service. I don't know if he really was trying to avoid that, because they eventually found him in Munich. And he actually failed his exam to actually be able to fight in the Austrian-Hungarian army, because at the time, 1900s, Austria was not Austria. It was part of the Austrian-Hungarian army, a part of the Habsburg monarchy, that was like siblings to the Holozones. If I pronounce that correctly, that is the German monarchy of the Imperial Germany that was of, Kaiser Wilhelm II. Those guys will actually turn up later on in this movie, so he has a pretty big influencing plots and events there in the movie. But back to what I was saying, yeah, Hitler got the rest of his inheritance. His half sister, Angela, tells him, "Oh, this is all I had. This is all I could get left of the inheritance. Here we go." And he just grabs it and takes it and just doesn't give a darn or whatever, or anything about his life, whatever, because, right, he's pretty screwed if he's on the streets. When his sister asks him about anything at all. I mean, he doesn't want to talk about it because I guess in the guy back then, and in Germany, yes, that would be considered shameful and embarrassing. Something you just don't bring up to your folks. That kind of ideology does turn up still in German culture. It turns up in American households that are German too. That kind of what is honorable to talk about, what is not. I could make that would be a full series of different videos for us to deal with. But in the next scene, Hitler is, trying to, I guess he gets into the list regiment he joins eventually. And he's in the actual historical event, Hitler was very happy to join the German military, which was what the List Regiment was. That was a pretty much cannon fodder for World War One. They were ill trained in any military measures or training at all. Actually, technically, Hitler wasn't supposed to be in that for not being a German citizen. But that actual regiment was a part of the King of Bavaria, because they still had kings there in Germany, so different regional kings. They also was of northern Bavaria, where Munich is. That is where Hitler went to move eventually by train to probably make a better life. He considered the Munich district of Bohemia was for the oldest like him, because he was an artist at the time, an architect, and he thought that was a great place. But there's some debate on why. Again, the whole invading military conscription to the Austrian-Hungarian army. Then yeah, I mean, he ends up joining the List Regiment and is shipped off, to the no man's land, and the troop is pretty much just obliterated, just like the history books say. Just like I have a good feeling that when my Kampf says that, I think that no shit, Hitler's probably telling the truth in that little event, because they were all killed, and Hitler was one of the very few survivors of that war. And whichever one it was the Ypres, Battle of Ypres or whatever that he was forced in. But right now, so then there's another scene where Hitler is actually decides to volunteer for being a message runner, to run through no man's land, to deliver messages, or through the behind enemy lines there, or behind the trench system there on the German side. And yeah, which a lot of people thought that was just a cushy, wonderful lifestyle. A bit of a pretty true. Probably most likely what Hitler had was not like the average World War One soldier dying, being blown to bits, or what have you, machine gunned down no man's land. So I'm going to leave off on part 2 and say, this is Lisa Stade, and I want you guys all to subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this video to hit the notification bell, like this video, leave a comment on my YouTube channel or this video on Lisa Stade, or on my other channel of Hitler Obsessed. Visit my BitChute channel of Lisa Marie Stade. That's one word. Every word of Lisa Marie Stade, that is all one word. First letter of each of those words being Lisa Marie and Stade, all caps lock. Donate to my Patreon page or my subscribe star. You can visit me on Facebook and leave a comment there too. That would definitely be helpful. And bye y'all. Now I'll continue to video 3 for you. Oh god. Shannon Wisiski, don't strike down my channel for this dumb thing. It's only a terrible Hitler video. It ain't much to scream about.